Okay, so I'm going to go over now about how to solder zinc sheets together. We get a lot of questions about how to do different joints. I'm going to go over a basic way of soldering two sheets together as if it was on a countertop. It's about a 35-inch seam, and then doing the corner around the edge. I'm going to be using our 85% tin, 15% zinc solder with our low temperature flux. You're going to need to use the flux because it's not going to bond very well if you don't have a flux. The flux cleans the metal very good and makes sure it makes the solder and the sheets all bond together. And it's not going to be a perfect match. The tin and the solder has a little bit more goldish hue, but the zinc mellows that back down to more of a silver tone. This is the seam we're going to be doing. It's just a basic 30-inch seam. I'm going to first, basically, the sheets are glued down. This is just a demo sheet with contact cement, and I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch seam along the whole seam. That gives the solder a chance to get down and bond it. You can butt it together, but it won't be as good as a seam. I would recommend leaving a little bit of a gap so that your flux and the solder can get down there. I'm just going to put the solder along here, and I'm just going to brush that in because you want to make sure it gets down all the way in the seam. And then this is just a 900-degree electric soldering iron. I just got it like a Home Depot. This is the solder melts at about 400 to 500 degrees, but you need about 900 to get a good flow going through. And I'm just basically melting it along the seam. Okay, I'm just going to be soldering along here. You want to make sure you've got a very clean soldering tip. You probably want to be wearing a mask, so you don't want to breathe in these fumes that come off the solder flux. And we're going to be going down and grinding back down the seam. So I'm not doing a very good job here, but as long as your solder is higher than the two sheets, it'll level back out. Make sure you get it all the way down in there. Alright, so I'm going to be grinding down the seam here and grinding down the solder basically back down to the zinc sheet. Okay, I'm just going to reflux some of the spots that the solder didn't get all the way down on the sheet. And I'll go ahead and patch these guys up. At this point, we're going to, we had the seam soldered, and we're going to ground back down, so we're just going to buff it out, starting with 320 grit paper. Okay, so this gives you an idea of the process for a seam. I still have some low spots I need to fill in, but basically you need soldering and then grinding it back out, and you want to work with coarser grits and then work with finer grits to buff out the sheet to get most of those the swirl marks out.